Coming up in today's video, has Universal finally done it and killed Disney in the summer of 2025? And where should you go? Should you and your family go to Disney World or Universal Epic Universe? Stay tuned. I recently had the opportunity to visit Disney World, become an annual pass holder here at DisWiz Dollars, and also go to Epic Universe 2 weeks after it opened on May 22nd, 2025 in June. So let's get into, is Universal Epic Universe worth it, or should you just skip it and go to Blizzard Beach at Disney World? If this is your first time here, please hit like and subscribe here at DisWiz Dollars. I'm Carson, and I put content like this out every single week. There are full vlogs of my juice trip, which is what my June trip is called, with my vlog that's in depth of Universal Epic Universe. So I'll put a link in the description for you to check that playlist out. So, when I visited Epic Universe, where did I stay? Well, that's a great question. So, I actually stayed at Disney's All Star Movies Resort. So, yes, that was off property from Universal. So, I did not get early park admission into the Universal Epic Universe park, but I did get early park admission at Disney World. So, when I went to Epic Universe on the day that I went, which was a Thursday on June 12th, 2025, I took a lift over from Disney's All Star Movies over to Universal Epic Universe, and it was pretty seamless. Honestly, like, it wasn't a long ride. It took about 25 minutes from my hotel at Disney's All Star Movies to make it all the way over to Epic Universe. So if you're worried about staying on Disney property and going to visiting Epic Universe, don't worry about it. Uber and Lyft make it super easy. This isn't the 1980s anymore. You don't even have to call a taxi. So I highly recommend, wherever you're staying, to not worry about the transportation, because that's really a non-issue. So let's talk about why I recommend going to Epic Universe for families, solo travelers, and everybody in between. Epic Universe is so well laid out. When I got dropped off at the Uber and the Lyft area, it was right there, and it was less than a 5-minute walk to get to the front gates. So it is a really easy park to get to. And also, if you're staying on Universal property, that's just more reason to visit Epic Universe. And I don't know why you would go to Universal Orlando and not go to Epic Universe if you were staying there. So the park and getting into the parking lot and to the front gate is extremely easy. My Disney World fans will have to understand it is not a ticket and transportation center type situation. So you won't have to take a boat, you won't have to take a monorail, you won't have to take a bus. So if you drive, all you got to do is just park, or if you take an Uber or a Lyft, it'll drop you off in the same parking lot at the designated Uber and Lyft zones. Or if you're staying on Universal property, the buses will drop you off at the designated bus stops. But Carson, did you purchase the Express Pass for Epic Universe? No, I did not, because I wanted to try it out without the Express to see how much I could get done. And I actually got a good amount done when I visited Epic Universe. I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do, but really everything that I really was excited about, and most important, when I visited Epic Universe, I was able to do. So, no, I did not purchase the Express. And also, I wouldn't recommend it to people to purchase the Express anyways, because when I went, it was $308 per person per day. So skip out it on the summer of 2025. So how many attractions did you get to ride at Epic Universe, Carson? You may be asking. So I rode 5 attractions. I rode Monsters Unchained, Curse the Werewolf, the Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge attraction that's in Super Nintendo World, the new Harry Potter attraction that did not have a virtual queue, thank the maker. And I also got to ride the big roller coaster Stardust Racers. I didn't get to do any of the shows because when I started out the day, I actually went and met Toothless, which I would highly recommend to anybody going to Epic Universe. That is the must do in that park. You heard it here on DisWiz Dollars. Go and meet Toothless. And bonus, you might even get to meet Stormfly and Astrid as well. So how much was my ticket? So Universal right now, as the recording of this video, is only doing single day tickets to Epic Universe, but my ticket with tax was $175 for me to visit, which I didn't think was overly expensive. Magic Kingdoms is around that same price, and also it is a brand new theme park the first one in over 25 years to the Orlando area and in North America. That is a major game changer, and Universal knocked it out of the park, pun intended, with Epic Universe. So after you get through security and you go into the theme park, there are 5 major themed lands in Epic Universe. There is Celestial Park, which is a brand new non-IP themed park that acts as a central hub for all my theme park fans. There's the Isle of Berk, How to Train Your Dragon area. Spoiler, that's actually my favorite land, and I didn't ride any of the attractions there. There is the Wizarding World Paris with the Battle with the Ministry attraction that is a Harry Potter land that is really based in between Harry Potter and the Fantastic Beasts franchise. There's Super Nintendo World. Woohoo! So that is bigger than life video game characters. There are 3 attractions in that area. There is the main Super Nintendo World part with Bowser's Challenge, Mario Kart attraction, Yoshi's Omnimover Dark Ride, and then Donkey Kong Minecart Madness to boot. And the last but not least land is the Dark Universe land, where Universal's monsters come to life in a headlining attraction known as Monsters Unchained. And spoiler alert, that is my favorite attraction at Universal Epic Universe. The best attraction I would say is Battle with the Ministry, but my personal favorite is Monsters Unchained. It takes everything to the next level. The queue is fantastic. Animatronics, they use screens effectively, and you feel completely immersed. And there are parts that I actually got scared in as well. So Monsters Unchained is a must-do, but those are the 5 lands at Universal's Epic Universe. So one of the common complaints I hear from a lot of people is that Universal doesn't have enough to do for families with children, younger folks, and it's more geared towards teenagers and adults. With Epic Universe, they changed all of that. With the Isle of Berk, there is enough to do for children. There is Hiccup's Wing Gliders, which is a family-friendly roller coaster that's a lot like Slinky Dog Dash. There is the Fire Drill, which is a water flat ride, I would say. There is the Dragon Racers Rally, which is a off-the-shelf kind of fun little dragon flying attraction. And that land is just completely immersive for kids. Besides that, you do have Super Nintendo World with a lot of interactivity features, such as going through with a power-up band, hitting blocks, and just getting to play your games like you are in the video games, like your Mario, Yoshi, Peach, Donkey Kong, Bowser, whoever you are in Nintendo, you can be that person in that land. And that is very highly themed and really fun for kids and families as well. And also, I would say Celestial Park is just so beautiful to kind of get away and just relax and just get away from some of those crowds and some of the portals as well. So there are a lot of family friendly attractions at Universal Epic Universe. So that will not hold true like Universal Studios Florida used to be for families and families with younger children too. Now, Carson, you said you only got to ride 5 attractions. So why do you really think that this theme park is worth visiting in summer 2025? It just opened in May. Well, to answer your question, the experiences that I did get to do were so well themed and immersive that they just took me out of the real world, and I did not feel like I was anywhere else except in those lands. Take Monsters Unchained, for instance. You are completely immersed into that attraction. Dracula, the Wolfman, Frankenstein's monster. That's right. It's not Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein is Frankenstein. The monster is the big green guy you see. Take the Wizarding World Paris, for instance. What you love about Diagon Alley at Universal Studios Florida, take that and times it by 100, and you will be completely immersed into the Wizarding World Paris, see Fantastic Beasts, get to completely be in the ministry of magic. And it is just breathtaking when you go through that queue. And honestly, I got a little emotional in there. So the attractions that I did get to do, I was completely satisfied. I didn't feel that just because I did half the attractions at a new theme park that I felt like gypped or anything like that. So I highly recommend it to any theme park fan, and especially if you're a big Disney fan, because Universal Creative, what they have made at Universal Epic Universe is a game changer and helps out Disney be more competitive in a marketplace that's really vying for your dollars and vacation time. So, Universal Creative, you knocked it out of the park with this one. So no DisWiz Dollars video would be complete without some minor complaints. So one of my biggest complaints is that there really is no shade throughout the theme park. So it did feel like it was merged in between for all my Disney fans. Universal's Epic Universe felt like Hollywood Studios and Epcot had a baby, but they forgot the shade, and it was like Toy Story Land. So when I was walking from portal to portal, I finally felt that Florida heat that I'd been missing all week because I'd mainly done indoor attractions at Disney. But it wasn't bad, though. I would say I just had my UV sleeves through my Amazon affiliate links. I also had my UV umbrella that I also purchased as well. So just beware if you do go in the summer. It is very hot and there is no shade as of right now. So just give it a few years and the shade will be really high up because the trees are going to grow in, and over time that'll really help fill out the park. My second complaint about Universal's Epic Universe is that a lot of the attractions are outdoor attractions. So what happens in Orlando? It rains, and it rains a lot every single day. So it's actually not the rain that causes the attractions to shut down, it's the lightning. So it has to be within a certain mile radius. I forget the exact number. But if you do go, especially during the summertime, which hurricane season is starting to ramp up, just know you may get delayed on a lot of the outdoor attractions, and that just kind of sucks because the ones that are indoors just means that they have to pump out more people in throughput hour by hour. So just keep that in mind. That's a minor so what I would recommend doing, since most of the attractions are outdoors, is make yourself a list. It could be in your iCloud notes, you're on your iPhone or whatever phone you use. So make your top attractions that you must do when you visit Epic Universe and just kind of work through that. I don't recommend going straight to Battle with the Ministry, nor do I recommend waiting for it for the last attraction of the night either, because when I was there, I had planned to wait for Battle with the Ministry to ride it around 8 p.m. However, it closed for capacity at 8 p.m. So I actually got in line at around 5:45, which was the better strategy when I visited. So just kind of keep that in mind too. My third really minor complaint were most of the set down restaurants you had to order through the mobile app. So just become familiar with the Universal Orlando app. It's not terrible. You just need to make sure that your card is linked. So whatever you do, it's just a QR code that you scan on the tables at most restaurants, and you actually take the entire payment through your phone, and then they just bring your food to your table. So that's a minor complaint. But those are my three negatives of Epic Universe. And all right, so the $1,000,000 question is, should I stay at Universal or should I stay at Disney? Well, that really depends on two things. How much time do you have on vacation and how much money you're willing to spend? And I know those are two very basic facts that you have to do when you're going to these theme parks, but typically what I recommend is stay at the resort that you're going to be at the most. So if you're going to do Universal Studios Florida, Islands of Adventure, and Epic Universe, stay at Universal and maybe do Disney a day or two. But if you know you got to be at Epcot, Hollywood Studios, you got to be at Animal Kingdom, you got to be at Magic Kingdom, stay at Disney and do Epic for a day for right now. There are a lot of discounts, especially at Universal and Disney right now, more so at Disney than Universal, just because Universal's, they've kind of added a little bit onto their hotel rates nightly. But that's what I would do. As you can see, I stayed at All Star Movies Resorts. It's incredibly easy to get from either Universal or Disney. Uber and Lyft, they love to take your money and take you in between resorts. So that's a non issue. So, would I recommend visiting Epic Universe and spending a vacation day over at Universal's newest theme park? And to no surprise, 100% yes. And I'll tell you why. They have theming on point. The stores and experiences that I did experience at that theme park, you can tell there is a lot of love and care that went into this theme park. And it is 100% worth your money and your time. And honestly, I can't wait to go back for future videos and to share content with you all and maybe try out some different touring strategies, staying at different places. So, again, I highly recommend going to Universal's Epic Universe. I wouldn't stray away from it. A lot of people have said, I'm not going when it just first opened. There's a lot of issues with a new theme park. To that, I would say, honestly, if you go in the summer of 2025, think of it this way: this is the most compact and best version of Epic Universe that you will get. So think about that. The theme park just opened. Over time, attractions start to wear down. They have to do maintenance. So I had to get there within 2 weeks of opening just to see what the experience was like and see if it was worth my time and money. And I'm happy to report, after 6 years of waiting, when it was Universal's Fantastic Worlds, I loved Epic Universe and I can't wait to go back. So, as always, stay Disney and Universal, stay savvy, and I hope your money meets the magic today or whenever you're watching this video. And go visit Universal Epic Universe because it is 1000% worth it. And in fact, I'm about to go book my trip in August and October right now. Let's go.